How are you? Good to see
Hey,
you, sir.
how's it going, man?
Good. Just getting ready and
Up early watching film?
like there's any more film to watch.
I know. Yeah, you pretty much know everything that's going to happen with Ocean City. I mean, you're very familiar with these guys. You've played them twice already this year. Do you expect anything different? I mean, obviously, Coach Burro Fees is one of the best in the business, so you got to be ready for anything when you're talking about a coach like that who has more than 300 wins, and he can surprise you at any turn, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that they're probably working on some different wrinkles to show us. Just because of how tight the games have been, and unlike the boys, we actually had an extra day to prepare. We played our games on Wednesday, so it gave everybody 2 days. So I'm sure they're probably working on some stuff. Just going to come down to like high school, all high school sports kids are just going to have to make some plays.
What's the feeling on this team, Coach? It seems like your girls are pretty confident, and they don't seem to be bothered by the whole undefeated thing. It's not something that seems to weigh on their shoulders. You guys are 24-0, but it doesn't seem like they're really bothered by that and feeling the pressure of remaining undefeated, that kind of thing, which sometimes you see with a team that's gone unbeaten for this long of the season.
No, it's really not something we talk about. It's not really. It was never really one of our goals for the season. So it's just something that kind of happened just by playing the game that was in front of us. And we had some tough ones there. We escaped a double overtime with Gloucester Catholic and another really tough overtime home against Ocean City. So they know that that doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of the things that they wanted to do. They set a goal to make sure that they got to this game of Stockton today, and hope, we got the 1 seed in the South Jersey Group 3 tournament. So those are the things that are important to them. So the undefeated thing is just kind of something that we fell into, but it's not really something that we talk about an awful lot.
Now, when you're going up against a team like Ocean City, obviously these girls know each other. They've grown up together. They've probably been playing against each other since middle school or even earlier than that. Is it difficult to get them to focus? Obviously they're excited to be in this game. They're hyped up, and it's a big rivalry matchup. And do you worry at all about the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game and trying to get them to just get into the flow of the game?
I think there's going to be a little of that on both sides, just because of the atmosphere. You're playing in the gym that you only get to play. If you're there, you play there once a year, and it's a bigger crowd than the girls are used to. So I think there'll be a little of that. In terms of it being Ocean City, I think we actually, our focus is actually a little bit sharper when we're getting ready for an Ocean City game, just because they know what a challenge it's going to be, and they know that they need to be sharp, for 32 minutes in order for us to get the outcome that we want.
Talking with Coach Scott Betson of Mainland Girls Basketball. And, Coach, what's the biggest challenge with this year's Ocean City team? Very different team from the last couple of years when you had, players like Grace Sacco and Rosalie Adadi, multiple-year starters. They only have one starter back in Mickey Baker, but some really good athletes out there when you're talking about especially point guard Danielle Donahue. She's a tough matchup at that spot because she's about 5'9", 5'10", and can really handle the ball and shoot the ball. So they definitely present some challenges for you defensively.
Yeah, they definitely do. They go pretty deep also beyond their starters. They bring a lot of kids off the bench who can hit shots. So in terms of matchups, it's definitely a challenge. I think for us, the biggest challenge has just been how to attack the defense that they play, because they're just so good at it. They're as a group, they're always in the right spots. They know how to take away the looks that we're trying to get. And it's just going to come down to our girls just reacting to those adjustments and being able to knock down some shots. So that's really, when I think about playing Ocean City, that's really what I think of as the biggest challenge.
Yeah, they're really one of the few teams around here that can match up with your size. Obviously, you guys have 3 6-footers in Kylie Watson, Gabby Boggs, and Ally Nazarok, and not many teams can really match up with that kind of size on the inside, but they can, with Finnegan and Baker and some of the other girls they can run out there. So I guess from your perspective, that's definitely a challenge for you when you have somebody that can match up with your best players on the inside.
I mean, you're right about that. Those kids do a terrific job, but even beyond that, what makes it more difficult is just the way that they understand how to do it as a group. Seems like every time we do get an entry, there's 3 kids swarming, and somehow we still don't have people open on the perimeter because they're just always moving to the right spots and rotating. It's clearly something they work on an awful lot, and it makes them really effective against us in particular defensively. So, you know, we just know we got to have, you know, like I said the other day, we can't be too dependent on the post today. We got to have some guards make some plays off the dribble and knock down some shots too.
Talking with head coach Scott Betson of the Mainland Regional girls basketball team. They're going to be taking on Ocean City today at noon at Stockton University in the Cape Atlantic League Championship. Ocean City's the defending champ, and Mainland has gotten there now after 3 straight years of falling into semis. So that's got to be a kind of a weight off your back, at least to get to this championship game, Coach. But I know you guys are not going to be satisfied with that. Obviously, you have a very talented team, and like you said, you know, from the get go this year, you guys have had your list of goals and trying to check them off one by one.
Yeah, you know, it was a thing that we did talk about that a little bit in terms of just making sure that we put the seniors who put in, you know, a ton of time and game minutes over their careers here. We just wanted to make sure that we gave them an opportunity to at least appear in this game. Not saying that, you know, we in no way feel you know, comfortable with that. We definitely, you know, want to make sure we take care of business today and then moving forward. But it's you know, the thing I talk about with the kids all the time is high school sports is all about the experiences and the things that you get to do that not all kids do get to do. And this game today is just another one of those experiences. Not a lot of kids get to play in an atmosphere like this. You know, when you look back at your high school career, you remember playing in games like this, win or lose. So that's really been the focus. That's really been the goal. It's all, you know, just focused on, we have a pretty terrific group of kids, especially our seniors. So we just wanted to make sure they had a special experience this year.
So, Coach, when you're 24-0, I guess you've got some credit built up in the bank with the parents. Nobody complaining about playing time. Everything's rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah, you'd hope. Our parents have been great this year. You know, I think I don't know if it's so much about the wins and losses as it is about, like I said before, the experience that the kids get. And we've had some pretty cool experiences this year. We went down to Disney to start the year.
Right.
You know, the Seagull Classic was a pretty unique thing, and a lot of girls teams appeared in that event. We definitely played a game that was called the Blue Star Invitational outside of Philly. It was just put on by one of the local AAU programs. So I think the biggest thing is just parents just want to make sure the kids are enjoying their time, because it is a lot of time, and, you know, the parents have to sacrifice a lot too. And I think that they've certainly got a sense of that this year.
Well, I think one thing unique to your team is your best player, Kylie Watson, is such a nice kid, such a great kid, and she's you know, obviously one of the best players in not only the state but the country. But to have a player that's that talented also be a great teammate has got to be great for you as a coach. You know, there's not any divisiveness going on with, oh, you know, she's the best player, she's taking all the shots, that kind of thing, because she's such a nice kid and so coachable and always, you know, cheering up her teammates. So that's got to be a great thing when you have a star player like that who can really be a leader, and we expect her to be a leader even though she's only a sophomore, which sometimes you have to kind of remind yourself, hey, this girl's only 15 years old.
Yeah, it's incredibly rare. She's unique for so many reasons, and obviously her size and her ability are some of that. But then, like you mentioned, she's got a lot of those personality traits that you just don't see in kids with her ability level very often. She's an outstanding student. She's a great kid. You will not find any adult anywhere or kid who will have anything negative to say about her. She's just so likable and humble. You know, I tell people all the time, it's funny because in school she doesn't want to be known as the basketball kid. You know, she just wants to go to class, and it's really hard to kind of hide in the hallway when you're 6'4". You know, it's not an easy
right.
But it's something that people definitely recognize about her. In terms of being a leader, I totally agree. I think that her experiences with USA basketball last spring really kind of really strengthened her ability to do that. Just super positive all the time, whether she's on the floor or not, just picking people up, and she's just incredibly rare.
And Coach, I've been so impressed throughout their careers with girls like Gabby and Ally. I mean, these kids are, if you're starting up a team, these are definitely the type of kids you want, who are just going to do anything you ask of them. They don't care if they score 2 points. If they're getting 9-10 rebounds, that's a great game for them as in their eyes. And you know, to have players like that who will just do whatever you ask of them and do it well and do it consistently, that's really what kind of makes the backbone of a great team.
It all starts in the same place. They're just really good kids to start with. So all other stuff becomes so much easier. They're incredibly coachable. You know, you can get on them. You can ask them to do different things. You can ask them to play different minutes or different positions, or different roles, and they'll just do that because it's just because of who they are. And you a lot of that comes from, their experiences outside of basketball. And like you mentioned, the parents and just the community we have at Mainland. So all that stuff definitely helps. But, it also helps when they're good basketball players. And they really have developed, Ally in particular. Ally's a kid who kind of came in, and we knew what an athlete she was, but she was just a little raw from the basketball sense and just kept working, developing. Gabby came in. Gabby's experience is pretty rare. Gabby started our third game of her freshman year and never looked back. So not many kids can be in a position to do that and still be, humble and hardworking and willing to be flexible and do different things that we asked her to do. There's just 6-footer. We ask her to play perimeter defense quite a bit, and she's just willing to do it. So I totally agree. It's what I've said all year. They're just really good kids and just such a treat to be around them, regardless of the 24-0 stuff.
Coach, before we let you go, I know you don't want to sing Burro Fees' praises too much. Obviously, he's on the other side of the bench for you today. But just as a basketball, as a hoop head, you got to be so impressed with what this guy can do in taking girls from, basketball sometimes is not their number one sport, and just wins so consistently every year. I was looking at some stats the other day, and he's had one losing streak in the last 4 years. I mean, that's just incredible to think about.
His record kind of speaks for itself. He's and there's really no box that a coach could look to check that he hasn't done. He's got state championships. He's had some outstanding players come through over the year. He's developed kids really well. The other coaches and I talk about all the time with just what a pain in the rear end it is to go against the teams because regardless of their personnel, they're always just going to be so hardworking and tough, just physically tough. And if you're not ready for that, they'll just wear you down. So I think that's really the key to their continued success. It's not so much about the individual talent level as it is about just the culture that they preach of toughness and defense. And I think that, that manifests itself in some of those things that you were talking about, some of those statistics.
Well, Coach, I got to believe your girls are definitely ready, and you're going to be playing for a chance at a league championship today at noon. So good luck to your girls, and I'm sure you still got a lot of work to do. So you got about 3 hours to get any last minute adjustments made.
All right, thanks, Sully. I appreciate you having me on. I'll see you over there.
Thanks, man. I'll see you up there in a couple hours, bud. Thanks.
All right, bud.
That was head coach Scott Betson, Mainland Regional Girls Basketball Team. They're taking on Ocean City today at noon. You can hear that game right here on 97.3 ESPN.